So we've got our collectors built, we're ready to test them. What data do we want to collect? So what we like to do is have you brainstorm with the students what data they think should be collected, and create a data table. It's an important piece of learning to do this, to think about what are the important variables. Well, how do you tell how well it worked? Well, somebody's going to come up with temperature. What's the temperature of the water? And you might ask, how often do we want to look at that? Well, the students aren't going to have any experience to do that, and so we can say, from previous testing by other engineers, it turns out we want to look at that every 5 minutes. So we're starting at 0 hours and 0 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and so on. And you can fill this out, and it may take as much as 45 minutes for these things to either come to equilibrium or to stop heating, or you have to go in because you don't have any more time. So you're going to measure the temperature at each one, and let's just say we started off with nice cold water out of the tap. So we started, let's put some units on here, and this is hours and minutes, and we start off at 50 degrees. So now you want to brainstorm with the students, what are the outdoor factors that are going to affect how quickly this heats up? And this is going to be a conversation, but at least the following will emerge. Is the sun out? What's the temperature outside? So if it's 25 degrees, and we have tested collectors at 25 degrees, and some students actually boiled water at 25 degrees. But it's a lot harder to do when it's 25 outside as opposed to 75 outside. So we're going to look at outside temperature. What's the other thing that might affect this from heat transfer? You can think back with the students of what are the elements of heat transfer. Well, one of them is convection. So outside, that's the wind. So we've got a wind speed estimate. And what you'll find in your kit is there's something called the Beaufort scale. And Beaufort was an admiral in the British Navy who needed a standardized way for his crew to tell him how fast the wind was blowing. So there's clues in there. There's trees, no leaves are moving. Okay, that's going to be pretty close to 0. And leaves move a little bit. Little branches move. Big branches move. The whole trunk moves. So there's visual clues for the student to estimate using the Beaufort scale. And that scale is on a sheet of paper in your kit there. So these are generally the things that are going to affect how the collector performs. Obviously things like, oh, well, it wasn't facing the sun, or it spilled, or things like that. That's not environmental conditions. That's really things that need to be dealt with by the student. So brainstorm this list. And the students will take the collectors out and they'll measure every 5 minutes. And in another little video, I'll show you some sample data.